Okay, so Dr.
right
Sujay,
there.
I
Before
had a
you,
question for you, which is that
Yes.
it
Yeah.
seems that you're moving forward with understanding that structured water energizes the body, and I'm curious, as a medical doctor, what you mean by energizes the body and how you think that would impact health.
Number one, most important thing, cellular hydration is the process by which most of the cell functions go on. Dehydration itself causes many, many, many sicknesses. Many of the sicknesses in the body are now being uh, uh, pointed to a decrease in cellular hydration. Now, this is very important. Something that your water does is possibly the size of the clusters, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Size of the clusters and the harmony it develops with the cell surfaces in hydration. Something that I found out also that the cellular hydration is the ultimate process
Mm-hmm.
that brings about wellness to the cell. And because of that process, the transduction, there is something called as transduction.
Okay.
It is very important. You call it as H3O2, isn't it?
Calling
Not
it,
H2.
yeah, it's a
H3O2,
combination.
isn't it?
Yeah, it's a combination, and most people think
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
just
I know.
H2O, but it's all manner of different combinations of hydrogen and oxygen.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like seeing that 70% of Earth's surface itself is water,
Yes.
and only 22% of the fresh lake water is the glacier water. Now, people say that glacier water is very good. Why is it good? Now, these things physiologically are very important to us. That makes 75% of our muscles, 82% of the rushing blood in our body, and 90% of the breathing lungs, and 75% of the controlling brain is all water.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you can say that this much data is right in front of our face, and we deny that it is all water. But what sort of water is it? Because we used to think water is only one kind. It's not. There are different types of water.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the types of water is the structured water.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there is one doctor, I don't know whether you heard about Dr. Pollock
Of course.
from Washington, D.C.?
Washington State, yes.
Yeah, Washington State, yeah? Now, this guy is done a tremendous research. And he calls that water as fourth phase water, yeah?
Yep. Fourth phase,
Fourth phase water.
structured, energized,
Yeah,
hexagonal. It's all pointing to water that's been changed with physics instead of chemistry.
that's it. Now, what he says, it is the molecule content and the quality that drives all the energy. So he was pointing us to the chemical nature of a water molecule. And he said that if people understood the chemical structure and nature of a water molecule, everything would change. Not only about energy, life, health. Now he has connected the fourth phase of water to energy and then pointed that the nucleus and the mitochondria are charged by the water molecule because mitochondria in the cell is a factory that produces energy. And this is very important because all cellular functions are controlled by the nucleus and all the energy are produced by the mitochondria. So if this hydrate, because the nucleus and the mitochondria are basically gels, gel,
Yeah.
the gel. So your water hydrates those gels.
That's it. That's the
Now that
magic
matrix
right
cells
there.
in the mitochondria is composed of structured water. And there lies everything. Now the secret is getting out. The very fact that somebody says that mitochondria and nucleus is well-defined structured water, then our body must get that water for it to function well.
Yeah, there are even those now who are saying our DNA is surrounded in structured water, and that too.
Yes. This even Dr. Pollock says that.
Yeah, to change the water is to change our DNA.
Yeah. Now, there's another guy called Batman. You know, Dr. Batman.
Yeah.
He said that you're not sick. Yeah, that I told you.
Yeah. Yep.
Now this guy says that if drinking water is done adequately and sensibly, public health will just vanish. I mean, problems.
Yeah.
So that is something that I already found out, that it is the water, cellular hydration, that is the most important process in a living cell.
Yeah. There was some research done by a lab called Fenestra Labs. They tested 40,000 people over 7 years, and they determined that 94% of people are dehydrated.
And that I'm sure.
Right? And so, cellular hydration is so important, and yet we seem to have somehow created systems for distributing beverages and food that could all be hydrating, and we've done it in such a way that we've either provided a poor quality or we've made them, the ones that actually help us, be undesirable.
Yeah.
So, one of the great joys in my career is that people call and purchase our products, and then they call and report back, and many have described, I never knew what dehydration was in my whole life, and now that I feel it, now I know what it feels like. Thank you so much for your products.
Yeah. Because when we deal with degenerative disorders, let's say go to the pathological aspect of a cell, yeah? Just a look of a cell that is sick, the first thing that comes to your mind is dehydration.
Yeah.
They are crumpled cells. They are, disorganized. When you just look at them, there is no cell turgor. There is no pressure inside the cell.
Yeah.
There is no gel, or there is small gel, or there is no adequate water. One of that. So these things are very important observations done in pathology. And yeah, go ahead.
Do you think it's possible that part of the reason that you've in just 8 weeks experienced a change in your intestinal colic is because you're now better hydrated?
Yeah, 100%. I'm not doing anything else. I'm not taking any medications. I don't take any medications.
That's fantastic.
And this is the only change that I have made, drinking water. First thing that I do in the morning is to get a glass and a half of this water. After 10 minutes, I'm so fresh. I'm so fresh, I can do anything. There is no lethargy. There is no hangover sort. The hangover in the morning that you have. There's nothing of that sort.
Yeah.
So it makes some kind of physiological change in your body.
Yeah.
That you feel it, but can't explain it, because there must be something to explain it.
Well, what I'd say is that our bodies were made to run on a certain fuel.
Yeah. And water is that fuel.
And structured water specifically is that fuel. And so when we realign and remember that truth and we immerse our lives in that, then all manner of things can just disappear. So thank you so much for sharing your observations. In this world, people really honor the studying and the validity of what a medical doctor brings to the table. And I
Yes.
think it was very nice of you to volunteer to record this part of our conversation, especially since, to the best of my knowledge, we've never spoken before this, right? This is our first
No.
time? A second.
Yes,
But
that's
I
right.
just wanted to thank you for that, and I'm going to go ahead and end the recording.